This Abrams rolled out to destroy an enemy stronghold, while this Leopard was hunting 2 Russian tanks and crushing them. A Russian tank tries to escape from the pursuit of Ukrainian drones, but it fails. Today, we'll show you what Western tanks are capable of and compare them with the flagship of the Russian army, the T-90M. Don't forget to subscribe. This is going to be interesting. Ukrainians have spotted a massive convoy of Russian armored vehicles. Nearby, there were 2 Leopard tanks. They lock on and attack the convoy. The first tank drives over anti-personnel mines, and the Leopard hits the second one. Another shot, a perfect hit on the APC. The German tank starts shooting targets like it's at a shooting range, shot after shot, and the potential of the Russian assault fades. The tank tries to retreat and takes a hit to the rear. The frightened infantry abandons the APCs, but not everyone retreats. Some APCs move into the settlement. The enemy disembarks infantry and retreats. The Leopard maneuvers and fires. The Leopard finishes off the damaged APC. Now, it's the turn of the infantry who have occupied several buildings. The tank gets close and fires. With each shot, the chances of the infantry decrease. After hitting the target, the tank turns and rushes to the next building. Inside this building is an enemy platoon. As you can see, the Leopard is right up close. The tank uses a special H round to increase damage. It circles the building and fires several more control shots. Mission accomplished. Let's move on to the next one. 2 Russian tanks are moving across the field. A Ukrainian Leopard tank is watching them. It moves to the most advantageous firing position, stops, and aims its gun. A perfect shot, the Leopard hits the enemy. The crew receives information that 2 Russian tanks are advancing a few kilometers away. They accept the challenge and move to their positions. When the Leopard arrives, the distance is about 1.5 kilometers between it and the enemy. The tank aims its gun and fires. A perfect hit. The enemy assesses the situation and retreats from the battlefield. Have you noticed how often enemy tanks explode after just the first hit? In such cases, the chances of survival are minimal, unlike Western tanks. Here's an example from the enemy's side. 2 Ukrainian Leopard tanks are moving down the road. One of them is hit by the enemy. It looks bad, but it's not. The fire you see is the ignition of the ammunition, and it's a controlled process. In the next frames, we see how the entire crew evacuates. Another example, a damaged Leopard tank stops and evacuates its crew. This clearly shows the difference in crew protection between Russian and Western tanks. The enemy is hiding in a building. A Ukrainian Abrams tank receives the coordinates. It aims, fires. A perfect hit. Another shot, and the building is destroyed. During an assault on an enemy settlement, a Bradley enters first and opens continuous fire to suppress resistance. An Abrams joins in, targeting buildings where the enemy is spotted. It methodically destroys enemy positions. Another duel, this time between the old Bradley and the modern Russian BTR-82. The BTR notices the Bradley and opens fire first. The Bradley responds immediately, flashes of hits are visible. The BTR swerves off course. The duel is over. The BTR is utterly defeated. Now, the T-90M, the flagship of Russian tanks. Let's see how it handles modern challenges. First, note the frequent ignition of ammunition upon damage. A Ukrainian FPV drone approaches and is directed into the open hatch. The explosion ignites the ammunition, with flames bursting through the turret and driver's hatch. Another abandoned T-90M meets the same fate. Columns of fire erupt from multiple hatches and even the barrel. Crew survival is nearly impossible. In another attack, a drone targets the tank's engine, then its turret. Pressure from the ignition forces the hatches open, releasing powerful flames. A $3.5 million tank is destroyed by drones, costing $1,500. An attack drone armed with a grenade targets another modern Russian tank. A direct hit causes fire geysers as ammunition explodes. Some tanks have added EW systems, mesh armor, and extra protection. But an operator drops a grenade into a slightly open hatch, fire starts inside. The only reason there's no explosion is because the tank was out of ammunition. Another example, a tank with reinforced plates, dynamic protection, extra screens, and EW. A drone drops a grenade. At first, just smoke, then fire spreads. Dynamic protection detonates, and the tank is destroyed. In one final case, a tank is maneuvering and firing normally until it hits a mine. Where an Abrams or Leopard would lose tracks, the Russian tank turns into a fireball due to additional ammunition stored in the hull.